If you will, let's bring in Fred Fleitz, President and CEO of the Center for Security Policy and former Chief of Staff at the National Security Council. I mean, Fred, help us out here. I mean, what are you seeing? What are we not getting from the various briefings that you believe that you're getting?
Well, I think the Biden administration is doing the right thing and trying to hold out hope, trying to see if there's some way they can reason with Putin, pressure Putin, put moral pressure on Putin. But I think the decision has been made. I thought this when the Russians blew off French and British officials last week who tried to reason with them. We saw video over the weekend of Russian tanks driving to the Ukrainian border. This damages roads. It damages the tracks of these tanks. I thought that was pretty definitive. And then yesterday, the Russians refused a request by Zelensky under OSCE procedures to meet. This is a conflict resolution mechanism. It seems to me Putin does not want to talk. He's done looking for concessions. He has decided to move into Ukraine. I wish I was wrong.
So the Pentagon and the State Department obviously giving their briefings this afternoon. As we do know, tomorrow, the next big item to look for, next big moment in this escalation, is Germany's chancellor will be going to Moscow to meet with Vladimir Putin. What do you believe the goal will be? Obviously diplomacy and to talk down Vladimir Putin. But what do you think is discussed there? Do you think Nord Stream 2 comes up?
I think the Germans are probably the worst possible interlocutor to try to solve this, because the Germans do not want to be as tough as they should be against the Russians, because they are so dependent on Russian energy. So I'm sure they're going to appeal to the Russians not to invade. But I think that the Russians are simply taking this meeting for diplomatic reasons. I don't think it'll have any effect.
And if we go forward, Fred, we've got about 35, 40 seconds left. This thing happens, let's say Wednesday, as the Ukrainian president has just said he believes. If it goes as we expect, a quick campaign, very bloody, what happens then? What happens a week from now when Russia controls Kyiv?
I think Putin will put a puppet leadership into Ukraine, and there will be a new arrangement that Ukraine will never join NATO, and he will try to move it out of the Western sphere of influence to make it less democratic. And I don't think there's a lot the U.S. can do about that, but we need to plan for the next crisis. This will set up a terrible precedent for post-World War II global security.
All right, Fred Fleitz, thank you very much for joining us. We want to get back to Kiev, where Trey Yingst is standing by.